nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Protecting the rights of the Constitution is of the utmost.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but.
I was appalled, like you.
Before we begin, I'd like to say that our prayers are with the victims and the first responders.
Piece of it. But that's nothing compared to what the men and women in law enforcement face every day. And that's why they have my support.
Sir, what will be your priorities with the FBI?
Mr. Thune, aye.
The yeas are 51, the nays are 49. The confirmation is confirmed. Under the previous order, the motion to reconsider is considered made and laid upon the table, and the President will be immediately notified of the Senate's actions.
Kash Patel has demonstrated a dangerous lack of judgment, lack of preparation, and lack of independence. He's shown that he's either unwilling or unable of putting politics aside in order to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution, should he be confirmed to lead the FBI. And throughout his career, he's shown a clear pattern of loyalty to Trump and of self-dealings at the expense of the American people. That includes undermining the FBI's work in order to protect Trump from investigation, profiting off of conspiracies about a, quote, deep state, and promoting an enemies list targeting public servants. Today, consider this, that someday in the future, possibly the near future, when a loyalist FBI director abuses the position and fails to protect the American people, it won't just be Kash Patel that will be held accountable. It won't just be President Trump we will try to hold accountable. It will be every member of this body who supported his nomination that will also be held accountable.
Mr. President.
Mr. President, Kash Patel has spent his career working in criminal law and national security. He spent his first 8 years after law school as a public defender in state and federal courts in Florida. In 2014, he was brought on as a terrorism prosecutor at the U.S. Department of Justice, prosecuting terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda and Al-Shabaab. From there, he went to work in national security for the House Intelligence Committee and then in the first Trump administration. Mr. President, as I said, the FBI has lost trust among the American people in recent years. Much of that seems, or I should say, much of that stems from a perception that politics has infected the FBI's important work. And it's not hard to see why.
And I'm thrilled to be President Trump's nominee for the director of the FBI. And I'm very excited to see Senator Ted Cruz, who is one of the most brilliant constitutional minds we have. Thank you.
The Senate has confirmed Kash Patel to be the next director of the FBI. The vote in the Republican-controlled Senate came despite Democratic concerns about Patel's relative lack of management experience compared to his predecessors, as well as concerns that he might look to operate as a Donald Trump loyalist and use the powers of the FBI to go after adversaries of the president. Republicans, for their part, see Patel as the right person at the right time for this job, and they say that his leadership is needed to reform the FBI. It's worth noting that Patel would inherit an FBI that's really been gripped by turmoil. There have been several senior executives who were ousted within the last month in the Trump administration. The Justice Department in the Trump administration has also demanded a list of thousands of agents who participated in the January 6th investigations to see if any personnel action is merited. There's a lot of angst inside the FBI about what kind of changes Patel might look to bring. He's talked about reducing the footprint Patel has sought to assuage any of those concerns by saying he doesn't have an enemies list, he's not interested in retribution, and he's simply trying to push the FBI forward.
Mr. Patel has been open about his plans to dismantle the FBI and seek retribution. His directives as a private citizen have already thrown the Bureau into chaos before the actual vote.
Thank you all. All right, gentlemen.
Mr. Patel, will you be independent as an FBI director, or will you take President Trump's orders?
Will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Protecting the rights of the Constitution is of the utmost importance to me and has been. Due process must be provided without bias to all Americans. And if we cannot provide due process to the worst, then there can be no due process for anyone. And our constitutional republic fails.
Thank you for joining us here this morning. On this brisk morning, my fellow Democratic Senate Judiciary Committee colleagues and I are here at the FBI headquarters today on the day the Senate Republicans have scheduled a vote to confirm Kash Patel, President Trump's nominee for FBI director. We stand outside the building that Mr. Patel on one day plans to, quote, shut down and reopen the next day as a museum of the deep state. That is one of many of the bizarre political statements made by the man who is asking for 10 years as director of the FBI. After meeting with Mr. Patel and reviewing his record, and questioning him at the hearing, I'm convinced he's neither the experience, the judgment, nor the temperament to lead the FBI. What is this all about? What is Patel's mission? It's pretty clear the first item on his mission is to revise history, to somehow blame the police for January 6th, to call the National Guard cowards in uniform, quote unquote, cowards in uniform. Patel's sympathies are clearly for the convicted mobsters and not the police who were their victims. And now he wants to be the director of the #1 criminal investigative agency in the world.
When left to his own devices, Kash Patel has proven himself to be a wildly vindictive partisan. When around Donald Trump, Kash Patel has proved himself to be a sycophantic suck-up. He has multiple foreign entanglements that are not adequately explained, including Chinese interests through Cayman Islands shell corporations. This from a guy who in this building is supposed to look out against China and Russia.
So for people listening to us today thinking, well, maybe this is just politics as usual. Of course, Democrats are going to oppose President Trump's nominees. No, this is not a distraction. This is a real danger and a real threat. Only in the year 2025, when President Trump has the Republican Party basically in a headlock, can an extreme nominee like Kash Patel be put forward with the support of the president and seemingly the support of Republicans in the Senate.
When Kash Patel in the future breaks the law, violates norms, erodes trust, and harms our public safety, every Republican who votes for him today needs to know that they will own those facts. When he weaponizes the FBI, and he has literally said he plans to do just that, Republicans better hope that that weapon doesn't end up pointed at them.
We will vote no. Our Republican colleagues, intimidated by this president and threats of primary challenges from MAGA world, may vote to confirm him. But as my colleagues have said, they will have to live with that vote, be accountable for that vote, and be accountable for all the destruction that Patel does to this premier law enforcement agency.
Thank you all.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you.